This is not a test. This is not a test. This is not a test. I don't know if you can hear me. This is not a test. This is not a test. I don't know if you can hear me.
rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Alright, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and can will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have them present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questionings if you wish. Alright. You good, dude?
Hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. It is September 23rd, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, 7:15 p.m. Hio was late. Hio was late. Let's see who else here. Jenny. Hi, Jenny. How are you? Mark, thank you. Thank you for the message. I needed to come on and say I was late, but then, it would have been just obvious at that point. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Southern Cats, how are you? Nice to see you. Hannah, how are you? Hi, Harley. Nice to see you. Welcome in. What's everybody been doing today? It's been a crazy day. Give everybody a chance to come and say hi, Rubber. I didn't uh, get here on time, Sweet Pea. How are things going? Sheila. Do you guys know about this case? Does everybody know about this? I saw this cute channel. I say cute channel. They are called the True Crime Squad, and they've got almost 10,000 subscribers. And I watch them kind of silently in the bushes. And okay, love. Thank you so much. I know, right? I agree. I need to go to my room after the stream, of course. Yeah, Miss Sheila. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much. Anyway, I was been watching this True Crime Squad, and they've got like 10,000 subscribers, and they really do a great job of reviewing some of these cases. And this came up, and they brought it to my attention. You never heard of it. Joshua Hubert. You were in YouTube for allegedly stream, but otherwise you took the day off. Well, I'm glad you did that. Nanny was kind of having an off day today, so I was in and out of chat. I did not get to do too much. I did not get to do too much. The truth is, though, I'm not too mad about it because sometimes you need a day off of online, right? Okay. I have to do a replay on Rubber too because I haven't been over there today to see what she's doing. How rude. All right, let me pull this screen up so you guys aren't just looking at me, well, or a picture of what you assume to be me. Mark, how did your live today go with your guest? I watched a little bit and I watched it on replay, but how do you think it went? Were you happy with the live today? You happy with the updates in the David case? Okay. So, back up. Okay. Tonight's topic is a little bit heavy. Um, so trigger warning. We're going to be talking about some versions of child abuse, attempted homicide, some SA. So if you need to step away or take care of yourself, please do so. And this is the case of Joshua Hubert, a 7-year-old girl kidnapped by someone her family trusted, thrown off of a bridge in 2017, and survived. So now, years later, she's testifying in court. I want to walk through the timeline and the evidence, both sides, the verdict, and kind of what it means. Hi, Cindy. How are you? All right. So this is the first page I ran into. Girl 7 survived being kidnapped raped, strangled, and thrown off a bridge, and now she's facing her alleged attacker in court. When asked who had committed these horrific acts, the young girl told the police officer her friend Josh did, which resulted in the arrest of Joshua Hubert. And that was in 2017. You're hungry? Oh, I'll have to throw out some fish. That's what we had. I'll throw you some fish. We had tilapia, and thank you very much, and some rice with some vegetables. It was really good. I'm too full. I said like dogs get their own fish. Prosecutors say she was put in the car, violated, strangled, had a bag placed over her head, tied with a rope. He wrapped her in a blanket. He drove down the interstate on 290 over Lake. Okay, now don't get mad at me. Quinn Sigmund. Quinn Sigmund. I don't know how to say it. Quinn Sigmund. Well, I will type it in the chat. You guys will have to tell me how it's pronounced. Lake Quinnis Quin I'm gonna call it Lake Q for fear of butchering everything. Your son-in-law is making barbecue chicken, macaroni, cheese, broccoli, so you're just waiting. That's wonderful. Um, sorry. I need to concentrate on what I'm doing here so I don't do this an injustice. So she was put into the car. She was violated. She was strangled. She had a bag over her head tied down with a rope. She was wrapped in a blanket and driven to the Interstate 290 bridge over Lake Q and thrown off of the bridge into the lake. Despite all of that, she survived. She swam roughly 100 yards to shore, soaked, bound by clothing and a blanket, and sought help at a home nearby in Shrewsbury. She did not disclose that she had been violated sexually until a couple of years later in 2022 because she said as a child she had not understood what had happened to her. I'm trying to think of how she survived that. That's crazy. So this is in Massachusetts. She's 15 now, and she was 7 years old at the time of the kidnapping. Somehow she managed to swim 100 yards to shore, seek help at a nearby home in Shrewsbury, a town located approximately 40 miles west of Boston. She appeared in court on September 8th to deliver testimony in the case against Joshua Hubert, who is facing the violation charge, kidnapping, strangulation, and attempted murder charge. He's 45. This is the guy right here. Fancy. Definitely a survivor. Definitely. There's our fancy friend, Joshua, right there. He doesn't look all that concerned, if I'm being honest. He was a childhood friend of the victim's father and had been among the guests at a birthday barbecue, which was held at the victim's grandparents' house in August of 2017. At approximately 2:30 a.m. on August 27, 2017, police alleged that Hubert kidnapped the sleeping girl from her grandparents' home. They alleged that Hubert then put the girl in his car and drove around the city before he strangled her, stuffed her in the trunk, and then threw her off the bridge after wrapping her up in that blanket. The girl survived the fall, swam to shore, weighted down by all of that stuff. Police said that the girl identified the man who attacked her as her friend, Josh. She still called him her friend after all of that. No worries, Mark. No worries, no pressure. So this led to Hubert's arrest, later a grand jury indictment on charges of kidnapping, attempted murder, and strangulation. They later said the girl did not report, like I said, being sexually abused because she did not understand what the sexual assault meant, or she didn't understand what had happened to her in the backseat of the car on the actual night of the incident. The young girl testified in court that she pretended to be dead during the attack after being stuffed in the trunk of a car. Look at this bridge. This is the bridge that she was thrown off of. Some friend, yeah. Ugh. I cannot even imagine how I would feel really tumbling in there, and I'm 7. I'm 7 years old. That gives a lot of new meaning to where there's a will, there's a way. Let me turn my phone on do not disturb so they're not bothering us. We can't be bothered right now. Here we go. I'm 7 and falling off the top of this bridge, weighted down by clothes and a blanket and something over the top of my head after I have been brutalized by this man. I I cannot put myself in her shoes. That is so sad. Says the young victim had the strength to make it to shore and get help. I want to thank the resident who answered the door and helped the girl. Early Early said Early? Didn't give me a name. I also want to acknowledge the Worcester and Shrewsbury Police, the State Department detectives assigned to my case. They did a terrific job working together and investigating this case. Hubert's defense attorney claims his client is innocent and pointed out in the court there's still no DNA evidence linking Hubert to the crime or the victim. Well, he probably washed it off when he threw her in the bridge. All right, let's go to the next one. Wow. So the charges he faced were the kidnapping a child under the age of 16, attempted murder, including strangulation and drowning in that, strangulation or suffocation, rape, aggravated rape in some counts, but not all of the charges stuck. The jury acquitted him of the rape charges. The DNA evidence, sperm cells found on the child's underwear from the night of the incident, did not match his. The defense points out that the DNA matched her father. Plot twist. So the girl managed to swim ashore. Let's go up here. See these pictures here. So the man was convicted of the kidnapping. He was also found guilty Thursday of strangulation in the attack, which the girl survived, but he was found not guilty of 2 charges of the rape because I just told you why. This, I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Jada. Hi, Dandy. Welcome in. So he's due to be sentenced on October the 3rd. And let's see. It's going to give me an ad. So let me take that down real quick and then I'll put it back up as soon as the ad's over with. Go back. We don't want your ad. Oh my goodness. I don't know. We're going to find out. He makes an excuse as to why. Let's go, let's go. That was a long ad and you can't skip it. It's not like it's not like YouTube where I can actually go in and stop it from doing the ad. There we go. Okay, let's watch this real quick.
Local story about a 7-year-old girl recovering after she was kidnapped in the middle of the night from her grandparents' home in Worcester, choked, and then thrown off the bridge.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's from the plane. That's the same view that, well, I mean, it's a different view of the same bridge that we looked at. I would be scared to death. And I can swim. I don't float like I used to, but I can swim.
You see right there. That girl was able to swim to
my
shore and
gosh.
get help. NBC Boston's Eli Rosenberg joins us live from Shrewsbury, where that little girl was found. Eli?
Yeah, and it's remarkable she only had minor injuries when you consider this. This is the bridge she was thrown from, the 290 bridge. Look at that distance she fell through the water. She then swims in her pajamas, the embankment here, climbs up, and then comes to this house here, telling detectives she stopped here because the light was on. The suspect was in court today. For a moment, the suspect showing his face in court.
That's all we get to see of that. That's all it let us see? Wow. All right, I guess on to the next. That was weird. Oh, like they're like, if you want to watch it, you go to our you go to our website. Here we go. You think so, Southern? You think the blanket might have helped her? I don't know. I get like claustrophobic when I got things wrapped up around me. I can't imagine having that around where I'm when I'm trying to swim. So the defense brought up a cell phone location, and they argued that those reports on the cell phone were exculpatory. They were inconsistent with Hubert being on or near the I-290 bridge at the time she was allegedly thrown. On September 19th, they found him guilty of just the 2 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of strangulation, and 1 count of kidnapping a child. He was acquitted of the other charges, and his sentencing is going to be scheduled, well, it was scheduled for October the 3rd. So that'll be a week and a half from now. You're going to you're going to eat all of his food? Are you passing it out? Okay, so this came out on September the 19th. Yesterday, a Worcester County or Worcester, however you guys want to say it, County Superior Court jury found Joshua Hubert, 43, guilty. I'm gonna go back and listen to how you say this, but Lake Q, before throwing her off of the bridge at Lake Q on August 27, 2017. After a multi-day trial, Mr. Hubert was found guilty of 2 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of strangulation, and 1 count of kidnapping a child. He was found not guilty of 1 count of aggravated rape and a child with force, and 1 count of aggravated rape of a child with a 5-year age difference. On August 26, 2017, Mr. Hubert was at a cookout with members of the victim's family. In the early hours of August 27th, he kidnapped her, threw her off the bridge. The girl survived the fall, swam to shore, and sought help at a nearby home, which set off the investigation. Our prosecutors, assistant district attorneys, did a terrific job prosecuting this case. A victim witness advocate supported the victim and her family throughout the process. They're short on the info on these on the announcements these days. It's thank you for this, thank you for that. I think allegedly had said that. Thank you for this, thank you for that. For immediate release, please tell everybody in the case I said thank you. Thank you for doing what you were supposed to do. Let's go over here. I have a couple more pulled up here. They showed the 911 call in court, and a whole bunch of this is on that channel that I told you that I was watching, but I did not ask their permission to show much of their content, so I don't want to do too much of what they had because it would be kind of rude. I do want to review a little bit of what they said. I really like what they had to say about the case. They're a lot more knowledgeable on this case than I was, and they had a few pictures of things that I had not seen. And let me pull them up, and I'm going to drop their link in the in the chat here. This video. Who's weird? Are they weird? Less than that. I just kind of want to look at some of the things that they had that I didn't. Okay, here we go.
I do have a tiny bit of show and tell. We designed a new
let's see
hoodie
it.
for.
Not that one. Not that. Not your design. Not the show and tell. There we go.
Right now
Mhm.
for a case that I vaguely remember hearing about this when it happened, but I have not followed it at all and just discovered today that
Back through here. Is this not the person that I'm thinking of?
Van in
Real
Salt Lake City.
organized, Tio.
And as
This is not the people I was thinking of. Hi, allegedly. Pay no attention to the man in the corner there. Let me delete that comment. That is not who I'm thinking of. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. How did your live go today? Well, I was there in and out. How did you do today? Lots of fun. There it is. There it is. One of them. I was telling Mark that I went to put a video out yesterday, and CapCut froze on my computer, so it told me take your editing software, delete it off of your computer, reinstall it so that you can't get the update going. So I did. I did that very thing, and then it wouldn't re-download. So I had to take my video and edit it on my phone in between downloading another editing software that put my video out. Well, tried to put it out with a watermark. I was like, okay, no. And then I edited it on my phone, and then went down to Nanny's this morning and with Mom, and got on my laptop down there, and I was able to edit the video. So it was late. The poor little baby that was thrown in the trash can in Austin. I was late getting that out because of CapCut. So I came home tonight. Same thing. Still not working. I don't know what's going on. Throw it away. I'll have to come to your house to edit a video, allegedly.
This is the second day of deliberations for the jury, and they just wrapped up for the day shortly before 4 o'clock without a verdict. They did have 3 questions today. Joshua Hubert of Worcester is standing trial on several charges, including 2 counts of attempted murder and strangulation. He is accused of sexually assaulting a child, then throwing the 7-year-old girl off a bridge on I-290 and into Lake Quinsigamond. The victim.
There it is, Quinsigamond. So we'll have to call it Q. Quinsigamond. I'm gonna forget it. I'm gonna forget it. Quinsigamond. Okay.
Survived the fall and swam to shore where she got help. Prosecutors have alleged Hubert was a friend of the girl's family and took her from a cookout again back in 2017, allegedly strangled her, then threw her off the bridge. The jury began deliberating yesterday before noon, and their first question today was simply an IT issue about a thumb drive that would not open. The second question, they wanted clarification related to a piece of evidence. But the third question coming at 3 o'clock, about an hour ago, the jury wanted to know what would happen if they could not reach a unanimous verdict on one of the indictments. They did not say which indictment. The judge referred them to jury instructions, a section of the jury instructions, and urged them to continue to deliberate. They'll be back tomorrow for day 3. Live.
Which we know now that they actually charged him with those charges and that he has a sentencing hearing on October the 3rd. 3 days of deliberation it took. I wonder why it took so long. Well, I guess because they acquitted him of the two other charges. So she's 15. We're obviously not going to get to see the testimony that she put out. because they didn't televise it or anything. Just arguments or things that we've heard, throughout, and a lot of it's just repeat, repeat, rinse, repeat. Yeah, everything that they have out right now is just rinse and repeat from what we've seen. September 18th. Hi. $1 million bail. Has he been sitting there all that time? No. It was first postponed in 2020 after the prosecutor requested a continuance, and by that point, Hubert was already free with GPS monitoring on $50,000 cash bail. She said, "I was thinking he wanted me dead." She testified during his trial. Can you imagine? I can't imagine. And then that's a long time in between here and there. So she's had to go through lots of points and times where she didn't realize what he had done or what the essay was about. She says after the party ended, he kidnapped the girl and left around 2:30 a.m., driving around in the car for about 90 minutes. Prosecutors alleged at one point, rude. Hubert pulled over, violated her, strangled her in the process, leaving bruises across her neck and body. Though she initially resisted and tried to kick him off of her, the victim said she pretended to be dead when he put the plastic bag over her head. I cannot imagine what she was thinking. Oh my gosh. I was what she's telling us. I was thinking that he wanted me dead, she testified, according to Mass Live. If I breathed really lightly and quietly, he would think that I was dead and everything would stop. She testified that she didn't understand at the time what the sexual violation was, and later told her cousin when she realized in 2022. During the trial, I said they found they talked about her underwear from the night of the incident and revealed that it matched to her father instead of her. Okay, that leads me back to why we still don't know why it leads back to the father. They're not telling us why this leads back to the father. Obviously, he was acquitted of this, so why does it lead back to the father? According to. Okay, here we go. I want to come in the survivor. I'm looking for the article that tells me about the father. Come on, where's it at? In the trial, no DNA evidence was publicly confirmed to link Joshua Hubert to the crime. However, DNA from the child's father was found on her underwear during the proceedings. The father was challenged about how his DNA ended up there. The defense is using this point to question the reliability of the DNA evidence and possibly introduce doubt. The explanation from the parent is this: his DNA could have ended up on the clothing innocently, for example, parental contact, laundry handling, or normal interactions rather than as evidence of the crime. This is the position being presented in court. Excuse me? Exactly. Exactly. Oh, it's just normal. I'm sorry. No, I don't think there's anything normal about that whatsoever. Ho- What is normal about that? Let's not kid ourselves. I don't think that I've ever even thought about the fact that it would be normal for even parental contact. Like, how in parental contact would it be What would he be able to? Where did that article just go? Would he have been able to get that into that particular spot of her underwear? How? Where in the heck did that article just go? Oh, there it is. I don't know why it keeps. Parents explain father's DNA on child's underwear in the bridge attack trial. A jury is weighing the fate of Joshua Hubert, who stands accused of rape despite no DNA evidence. You will hear that despite testing seat belts, seats of the defendant's car, and her clothing, there is no forensic link to the defendant. Prosecutor Emily Myers said in Worcester Superior Court on Monday morning during opening statements. There is, however, a forensic link to her father, and you will hear from her father about why these sperm cells were found in his daughter's clothes. Myers said. Hubert, 43, faces the indictment. Okay, I'm going to go down here. Despite the lack of DNA evidence against Hubert, Myers and fellow prosecutors pointed to surveillance footage of him cleaning his car the next morning in their opening statements on Monday. They also said the jury would hear from the girl and review physical evidence collected at the time, including a ligature mark and broken capillaries on her face. But Hubert's attorney called the entire crime unbelievable. For 8 years, I have been screaming into the abyss. It's unbelievable the puzzle pieces that the Commonwealth are going to try to jam together to support the unbelievable testimony of the victim, he said, repeating the word unbelievable about 12 times in his opening statement. The jury heard from the girl and her father, mother, and grandfather on Monday, all of whom were present at the family party in 2017 before she was kidnapped. Both parents gave reasons why the father's DNA might have been on the underwear. Her father is expected to continue his testimony in court on Tuesday. After the girl took the stand, describing the night she says she was kidnapped and nearly killed with the man accused feet away, her grandfather and mother testified next. Her mother lives with her children and boyfriend in Spencer and is a psychiatric nurse at a local hospital. The girl's mother and biological father filed for divorce in 2020 after 12 years of marriage. And the mother testified that her relationship with her daughter's father is tenuous. During the girl's testimony, she said she no longer speaks to her father due to his problematic behavior. That's a red flag for me. Like not respecting her boundaries or privacy and drinking issues. See, way, way more. Massachusetts. It was sperm cells. Sperm cells. Where are you going on stream at, love? What did I miss? Did I miss everything? You were ordering Glad dropper bottles. Oh, for your face care. Okay. Glass, not Glad bottles. Oh, glass bottles. Okay. Joshua Hubert. Joshua Hubert. Or you're looking for the names of whichever bottles they reuse. Oh, yeah. Trying to get ready to come on camera. Oh, you're getting your beauty regimen together. Okay. Getting ready to harvest and teach you some beautiful ones. Ooh, fancy. Despite their hard feelings, neither the girl nor her mother accused the girl's father of any inappropriate sexual actions towards the girl, even though prosecutors say his sperm DNA was found on her underwear following the attack. Do you know how the sperm got on the underwear? Asked Larson. I can't say with 100% certainty, but our laundry hamper was in the bathroom and everybody's clothes went into it, the mother replied. The mother denied she put dirty underwear on her daughter, but said that the child had worn the same pair that morning and into the night. She was wearing that pair after she changed into pajamas to sleep over at her grandparents' after the party that August 2017 night, she said. And it was the pair on the child's body when she showed up soaking wet in pink pajamas on a stranger's doorstep by Lake Q. She was 7. The girl vehemently denied her father ever assaulted her or ever would, and told the jury he had done nothing inappropriate with her in her life. Father gives reasons why the DNA showed up. When the girl's father, a 42-year-old who works as a carpenter and lives in Worcester, took the stand, he told the courtroom he'd known Hubert since the two were children and considered him almost family. Of his relationship with his daughter, he told the jury, "I love her, she's my daughter." When Larson asked if he would ever sexually abuse his own child, he replied, "No, I would never do that." While the girl's father acknowledged his DNA was found on her underwear, he had two different scenarios on how it could have ended up there. One was the same laundry theory of his ex-wife. "We had multiple laundry baskets around the house. Clothes would just get mixed into one basket," he said. "The laundry would be brought down to our basement where we had the laundry machine and it would be all washed together," he said. Additionally, clothes would often be left on the floor of the family's bathroom, the father testified. "What, if anything, have you ever done in that bathroom that could have resulted in your sperm getting on some of the laundry?" It is confusing. He's trying to confuse people. He's trying to confuse people on purpose, especially by the next subject. I mean, no, I'm sure it was uncomfortable in court to say when they asked him what, if anything, he could have done inside of his own bathroom in the privacy of his own home. But he said, "I have masturbated, and I also, the mother and I, have had sex in the bathroom and things like that, even just cleaning up and things," he said, and trailed off. The father's expected to continue his testimony on Tuesday with cross-examination. Jurors will also be taken on a field trip to view the bridge that the prosecutors say Hubert threw her off of. So the person that hurt her is Joshua Hubert, this guy up here, way up here. This is Joshua Hubert. So she was 7. Joshua took her from the family barbecue and kidnapped her, took her in his car, drove around for about 90 minutes while he allegedly violated her sexually, kidnapped her, and then wrapped her up in a blanket, put a plastic bag on top of her head, threw her in the water off of the top of the bridge. And this 7-year-old girl swam back to shore to find help. Like, she survived. And so now years later, this happened in 2017, she was 7, and in 2025 she just testified at 15 years old against him, and they dropped the 2 rape charges. Yeah, right? Do they want a picture of it or what? I don't know. That's what I said. Why would they put dirty underwear back on their daughter? If she changed clothes and put her pajamas on after the party and it was 2:30 in the morning and she was in bed asleep, she wouldn't have had those underwear on. They would have been in the basket. It just doesn't ring true. It doesn't make sense to me. Something's not right. Something's not right. And I don't know if they're going to question him. I mean, she's obviously said at this point that he's never done anything to me. He's never hurt me. He's never done anything. You know, it gets a little convoluted because so what we have to take from this, beyond the horror of what happened legally and emotionally, the survivor was obviously very brave, testifying many years later under a lot of pressure, and then having to reopen, traumatic wounds from way back. I mean, she had to pretend like she was dead. She did accuse him in 2022 of sexual assault, which she did not originally accuse him of because she didn't understand. The absence of the DNA evidence linking Hubert and the presence of DNA that matches her father, it just it complicates that narrative for me. Yes, I agree with that. The whole story is weird. It's like a family friend just all of a sudden kidnaps your daughter. Like he's been with her, around her since she was 2. Now that happens all the time. I can't say that, oh, it's just random that the guy decided that that was the night. I mean, maybe it had something to do with opportunity and, circumstance. The prosecution has the burden of proof, the legal burden of proof. So they had to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. The jury has to weigh the testimony against the timing, the physical evidence, all the reports, the DNA or the lack of DNA, the location data on his phone. And she didn't report the essay until 2022, which uh, the delayed reporting means they lose evidence, they lose credibility assessments. They can't ask her when she's 7 anymore. 2017 to 2022 is a long time in between. Maybe it was her, I mean, she said it wasn't, but maybe it was her father and she did block it out. She doesn't know. Maybe she didn't know it was him at 7. They're gonna do a sentencing on October the 3rd, so we got to keep our eyes out for that. It looks like it looks like the sentencing itself may air. I'm not trying to share too much, but sometimes get wild. I get that there's always clothes on the floor and you need something. You grab a t-shirt, not a fucking teeny tiny pair. I know of your child's underwear to clean it up. I agree. No, but even that allegedly, yeah, you're right. I mean, it is brash. I mean, it's a weird story, right? Not only that, you don't use that, but then tell me why your 7-year-old went back out of the bathroom into the laundry hamper and got a dirty pair of underwear that you just used to clean up your shenanigans and put them on. What kind of child? No child does that. No child just goes back into a dirty laundry hamper and puts those underwear back on. I can't see that happening at all. I know as a child, I probably would not even at 7. I mean, I knew the value of cleanliness at 7. I think most girls do. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's where they've left us too because they're not giving us anything behind the scenes, anything. I know I have tried to pull the paperwork on this and FOIA this, but they're not telling us anything. Law and Crime was the only thing that reported about the Massachusetts man, but I have not been able to get any of the uh, paperwork for the case. Massachusetts hard to get documents from. The DNA was only in a certain area of the underwear. It didn't specify. It may have in court, but it didn't specify. So I don't know. I don't know. My 7-year-old grandson pulled stuff out of the dirty coat basket all the time. Do they really? Boys, I could see maybe. I could see maybe the boys doing it. I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's funny. He's like, no, I'll just wear these. Whatever it is, I'll wear it. And then I mean, it was 2:30 in the morning, and nobody noticed she was gone because I mean, nobody was up. Sorry, my Alexa's going off. Tell me to take my night medicine. I already took it. Thank you. I already took all my drugs. Where are you, Mike? And you just randomly found this channel? Tell me more. Tell me more. No once, not once they come off, not going back on. Yeah, and I don't know, maybe I'm particular, just little girls. Little girls don't seem like they would do that. Hell, I already took my drugs. I already took them. Now that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So if he's on the spectrum, he has preferences, right? I mean, you're lucky he's wearing clothes at all on the spectrum, but underwear or a certain shirt or certain shorts. So go dig out the dirty clothes and get it. That makes sense. That makes sense. Mike, you want to come up and tell me about it? It's so nice to meet you. Thank you for coming by. I'm glad you found it. Just little tiny bitty channel. Oops, I guess we're lost, Hubert said at one point. The girl testified. So Hubert told her that he was lost. And then she went on to say that she kicked her assailant during the attack and relayed some of her feelings and survival efforts. Well, the chat might have a million questions, Mike. What do you think? Do you think well, I mean, obviously you guys dropped the charges for the sexual assault, so there must have been some reason for that. Allegedly speculating says, "What do you think, Mike? What do you think about the trial, or who do you think did it?" And anonymity is absolutely 100% fine. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I'm just glad to hear that this man indeed is going to be behind bars. She said if I breathed really lightly, which we heard, and quietly, he would think that I was dead and everything would stop. Prosecutors alleged the defendant choked her and raped her. The girl in the backseat of his vehicle placed a bag over the girl's head, secured the bag with a rope in an attempt to murder her, according to court documents obtained by the Globe, which I cannot get. The victim stated that she fell for a long time and landed in the water below. Oh my gosh. Jury was hung on the SA charge, but judge told us we had to be unanimous. We were 8-4 and guilty. Yeah, and 3 days of deliberations. I can't imagine. Was the dad suspicious? Allegedly says. The swim was 100 yards across a lake, over 90-foot depth. 90-foot depth. It says she finally arrived at a house where a woman wrapped her in a towel and gave her Batman pajamas to wear. Then she was taken to a hospital where she watched the Disney show Doc McStuffins and answered what questions she could at the time. Mike61 says, we think he did it. You had the testimony of the victim. The car was video as well as the Shell station video. Wow. Maybe some of that will come out and we'll be able to actually see that and follow up on that. Oh, the car wash. Oh, the car wash after. So the next day, yeah, it does say that they had video of him washing his car the next day. Wow. So she was in a bag, landed, and swam out. So she had a bag on her head with the ligature wrapped around and a blanket wrapped around her over her clothes, allegedly, is what he said. They took us to the bridge. It's tall, about 50 feet. Oh my. I can't imagine. Yeah, she said she fell for a long time. Did she have to testify in front of her parents? In front of both parents? And she called him her friend. So he made bail in 2018. He was later indicted on those charges in 2022. So that's when she realized that she had been sexually assaulted. But he stayed out on a PR bond, it says. It says during the trial it was shown that the DNA on the girl's underwear from the night of the incident didn't match the defendant, so they showed those in court as well. At 9 a.m. the next morning, he is seen at the car wash video, and his son vacuums out just the back while he throws some things away from the trunk. I'm so sorry you had to hear all that, Southern Cat says. That was pure divine intervention. Yeah. The ex-girlfriend testified he had never gone to the car wash prior. Well, pictures I saw, he didn't look like a guy that'd be up and out at the car wash early in the morning. Dad's DNA being in her underwear is sus as fuck. Yeah. Yep. It says there's a lot of things in this case that are appealable, probably the biggest one being the late disclosure, defense attorney Kevin Larson said in a live report after the verdict. Hubert's facing a maximum sentence of 35 years behind prison. Or behind bars, rather, behind prison. Yeah, he's going to be behind the prison for sure. The victim did not testify in front of the parents. They also testified, and there was a sickle. Oh, okay. It's good to know. I'm glad to know that she's safe. I know she said she no longer speaks to her father because her boundaries are not respected. You guys have any other questions for Mike? While you guys do that, I'm going to see if I can't pull up. Bear with me one moment. Hold peas. Okay, here it is. This is the person I was talking about that I could not find earlier. I'm going to drop her link in the chat here. We're not going to cover very much of first stuff because I don't want to. If you want to see it, you guys can go watch the entirety over there. It says max 35 years. Yeah. Max 35 years. Allegedly says, thank goodness she's safe. And thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, Mike. It's a good insight. I was getting leery about questioning people that were there in jurors for the case because I feel like people tried to extort the jurors. Like, I feel like people try to extort the jurors, and I feel bad. Okay, let's see what it is she has to say. There's not too much I want to cover, but definitely about the DNA part right here. And she's an attorney, so I was kind of curious about what she said.
Prosecutors have also filed a motion to take the jury to view the I-290 bridge, where Hubert is accused of throwing the girl. Larson, prosecutors, and the judge discussed on Thursday how the court might take all the jurors onto a boat at the scene so they might have a close-up view underneath the bridge.
Did you guys go on a boat? Or did you just go on the shore where she came up?
I mean, this bridge, let me see if I can find a picture of the bridge for you.
Look at her eyes. They're so blue.
Because there's more than one bridge over Lake Quinsigamond. And so
Much better pronunciation than I did with my Lake Q. No, not a boat. Took the bus to the top of the bridge and a house by the shore. Okay. Mike, do you think that there's anything you want to share with us? How did the father act while obviously the daughter didn't testify in front of him, so we don't know how he would have reacted to the daughter's testimony, you said. So did he act like his testimony sounded credible on how the DNA ended up there? Was it just like happenstance? It just kind of happened. Him and his wife might have been messing around, or he was, playing by himself, and that happened.
it's not the newer of the bridges, it's the older of the bridges. I had one earlier. Actually, it's on the thumbnail. Oh, there's actually 3 or 4 bridges. Okay, so the one that it is actually on the thumbnail, and it's really high. But even before opening statements have been read, new details have already emerged, including contradictory DNA evidence. Sperm cells were found on the girl's underwear from the night of the incident in 2017, the Telegram and Gazette reported, but the DNA did not match Hubert. Instead, it matched the girl's father, whom she says never SA'd her. Though they haven't spoken in years, she reportedly said he's a bad parent, but has never been inappropriate toward her. There are a total of 54 possible witnesses on prosecutors' list, which includes the girl herself, the woman whose doorstep she showed up at and what seems to be several of the girls' family members. It also includes more than 20 members of the Worcester PD and 2 from Shrewsbury Police, along with 3 state troopers and several emergency medical workers.
Well, no wonder that took you guys forever. You guys had to sift through so much evidence. All of those witnesses and all of those people who came to testify. That's a lot. That's a lot for this case. Yeah. From what we're hearing, I mean, we've got limited information that they give us online, right? Hubert's attorney secured a 1-day pause after belatedly receiving a cell phone location data from an expert hired by the state, which he described as exculpatory in the findings. They were inconsistent with the defendant being on or near the I-290 bridge at the time the complaining witness was allegedly thrown in the water. Do you think she just escaped from her grandparents' house and just ran herself out to the bridge, tied herself up, put her own head in a bag with a ligature, wrapped a blanket around her, and jumped off the bridge herself, allegedly thrown in the water? Give me a break. The defendant's attorney has said he is going to appeal this conviction. Mass Live did a great job covering. They covered most everything we heard. Yeah, they have a lot of reportings on it, but I'm not sure if they. I'll have to go back and look and see if it's on there now. When I looked the other day, I wasn't able to pull up anything that that showed actual video. Did you see if did they record it in court? Were there cameras or videos allowed in there? I don't see anywhere where it was. It may have been live at the time and then taken down. I don't know. It won't let me see anything. Jenny Jen says, thank you so much, Mike. The exculpatory evidence was that his phone just happened to not ping any cell towers for the hour this all happened. The defense was reaching, huh? He had claimed in his interview that his phone died. Maybe he didn't take his phone. Court review requested, but judge denied due to being a minor. That's what I thought. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense. That's probably partly why I haven't heard back to you. They got to go through sentencing, and if he's already stated out loud that he's going to file for an appeal, I won't be able to get anything on the case for a while. Right? They all say that. They all say, but my phone was off. It was broken. Like, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you coming in. I appreciate that you're going around to the channels that are covering this and giving some insider knowledge to this. It's very interesting. The way that every jury interprets the evidence differently. Sorry. Biggest question mark was there was a third man whose DNA was tested with the defendant and the father. That was located on a piece of her clothing as well. What was your what was your impression of the survivor's testimony? Like, did her age at the time or how long it took for her to like talk about certain parts affect how credible that you guys felt she was with her waiting so long to disclose that information? Yeah. And at 7, I mean, she was 7. Jeez. We play a little bit more of this while we wait. The survivor was nervous but did a great job telling her story without getting emotional. So you think she was credible then for what she was saying? I mean, like some of the subs were saying that she could have blocked this whole thing out for all we know. So interesting. Is there okay? I got a more of a personal question, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But how did you how did you separate out what you felt emotionally from what you believe the law required you to decide? How did you separate that out? Most important to us were her statements at the time. Hard to believe a 7-year-old would make everything up. Agreed. I agree with that. How do you mentally compartmentalize the difference between how you feel emotionally and what you believe the law was asking you to do? 7 agrees with you too. Mike, you're amazing. Thank you for answering all these questions. Most of us emotionally believe that he essayed her, but there just wasn't enough evidence to convict. Yeah, I can understand that. Do you find yourself emotionally impacted now after the case? Or was it something that you were able to just kind of tuck over? I mean, obviously you're still online looking at looking into the case itself or seeing how people are interpreting the coverage and stuff. So do you feel yourself emotionally impacted still like now after hearing her testimony and knowing that you couldn't convict him of the part that you believe actually probably happened but didn't have enough evidence? You're definitely invested. Yeah, 2 weeks of your life. I mean, it's to put it into perspective, we say, "Oh, it's 2 weeks of life." You could look at it in a couple of different ways. It's 2 weeks of life you'll never get back, and 2 weeks of life where you were, like you said, sequestered or couldn't talk to other people about it, and you're going through all of these emotional things all by yourself, and then having to go in with a jury of your peers. You guys get to know each other and all that kind of stuff over the time, and then the actual testimony itself, the actual sitting there and looking at the victim or looking at the defendant, having to think entirely about this case 8 hours, 9 hours a day. I don't know if I could do it. Definitely something you'll never forget. Is there anything that you wish that the public understood better about the trial or the verdict that you guys came up with? Is there anything we're missing? Yeah. I saw a picture of that bridge. We saw a picture of that bridge. Entirely too scary for me. Definitely. We would see all these individuals walking in and out of the courthouse every day. Yeah. And I think about the longevity, like how long it's been to now. Like it's been such a long time waiting for any kind of justice for this little girl. I mean, is she still, and it's been so long. Oh, thank you, Nightbot. If you guys would do me a favor, smash your like button and subscribe if you haven't. The only thing is that 8 of the 12 definitely believed her on the essay. They just couldn't convict, hoping she would understand that. That's a really good perspective. Hopefully she sees or somebody that is as invested as one of the jurors lets her know that they believed her, and that's important. That's really, really important, and I appreciate that. I mean, that means a lot to that touches me because sometimes people are not believed. Sometimes little girls are not believed. So to know that you guys believed her and you want her to know that, I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing. I hope she gets Edie and all the help she needs. I agree with that. So I know it's kind of a short life today. Mike, I am in your debt. I am so appreciative of you coming in and letting us know, how things really went behind the scenes. I want to take just a breath, hold some space for the survivor in the case. At just 7 years old, she endured something that no child should ever have to survive. And she did survive. She swam, she fought, she told her story. Years later, she sat in a courtroom across from the man accused of trying to end her life and testified in front of him. I don't think that's just bravery. I think that's like it's courage. It's courage. Some people can be brave and not have courage. Uh, whether you agree with every part of the verdict or not, we definitely owe her our attention, our belief, and thank you, Mike, for really appreciating. I mean, I'm really appreciating you and you letting us know how things were going. Happy you're covering the story. Thanks. Best to all of you. Best to you as well, Mike. It doesn't always come neatly packaged, right? The justice that we expect. It doesn't always feel full. It doesn't feel full. But knowing that she spoke for herself and the world is listening and the jurors that mattered in the case listen to her and believe her. So if you guys feel informed, if you would, like I said, please just leave a like. If it make you feel, like you want to, drop a comment and subscribe if you haven't. Don't want to be just bystanders to somebody's pain. I like to call herself the Guardians of Firelight, right? Because I don't want to be just a bystander to somebody's pain. We don't get a whole lot of happy endings. Yesterday I covered one, a baby in Austin that was dropped in the dumpster. She's doing well. She's doing well. She cried. They walked past her. They picked her up out of the dumpster, did CPR on her, and she is doing well. This is not the perfect happy ending, but it is another story with a happy ending. So I'll post the links that we discussed in the comment and in the description. Thank you so much for supporting us and us as in me and the mouse I have in my pocket. And you guys can find me here most nights these days. I'm going to try to start going live on a regular basis and not be 10 minutes late. Until next time, protect your peace. Protect your peace. And always thank you for hanging with you.